So is the way the Heat went about building their roster the new wave in the NBA? A lot of undrafted guys. As Key, as you point out, you can't have too many of those guys, right? Like if you're the Lakers, you can do it because you have LeBron and AD. And now you can flesh out the roster, find an Austin Reeves, find a this one, that one.
Yeah.
But that works with a LeBron and an AD. That, you know, if Jimmy Butler and Bam Adebayo are your two best players, hard to win a title that way, but take your hat off to them because they've gotten to 2 finals and 3 conference finals in 4 years. So Jimmy Butler was asked if, the reason I bring this up is because the new CBA makes it hard to try to squeeze in 3 guys close to the max. Jimmy Butler was asked if the team needs to add more offensive-minded players at the post-game presser. Listen.
No. We just miss shots. That's what this league is about. You know, we make 2 or 3 more shots. That's what it's been for us all year long. I think we did enough to win. You know, you guard well. We're still in position to win. You don't have to score 100 points to win a basketball game. I think we'll be okay. You know, that's Coach Patton and Coach Poe's job to put together another team, which I'm confident that they will do, and we'll take it from there.
What do you think, Jay?
Well, so look, there's no doubt in my mind that I think Miami, if they were fully healthy, would have had a legitimate chance. Like if this team had Tyler Hero that didn't get injured, I still would have favored Denver. I think they would have been able to punch above their weight because they would have been able to score differently. That's the one thing you felt like Miami was missing. You couldn't be reliant upon Gabe Vincent to create a lot of shots off the dribble. Other than Jimmy Butler and Gabe, nobody else had the ability to create their own shot. Nobody else. Max Strus is not a guy doing that consistently. Duncan Robinson is not a guy doing that. Bam Adebayo is a guy you like to put in pick and roll. He can bring the ball up the court, but he's not going to create his own shot. Tyler Hero brings a different dynamic to the table. Now, the question is if Tyler Hero really fits into the culture or if you can get a guy like Dame. If you can get a guy like Dame, that's a prolific scorer that takes the pressure off Jimmy. That him and Jimmy actually can be complementary towards each other with how they can use Bam. That elevates the roster to a completely different thresh mark.
And he's a dog.
Exactly. And he fits into the culture better than anybody. So, like, Tyler Hero, I love you. Congratulations on your 4-year, $130 million deal. Time to go. If I can get a guy like Dame, it's time to go. Draft picks, time to go. I can find, like, my history of my franchise. I am great if I'm Pat Riley at pinpointing talent that fits into our culture. I will figure it out if I have Dame, Jimmy Butler, and Bam.
Because Dame can go for 40 on any night. Any night he can just drop 40 on your head. Tyler Hero's not going to do that.
And space the floor crazy because Dame could take those deep threes.
And say, Jimmy Butler, yo, take this. I got it. You can share. Jimmy Butler doesn't have anybody to share the load with. Yeah, that's why we're seeing him. Like, he looks dog tired in this game because he is.
Yeah.
And the only reason why we even mentioned Dame is because Dame had a conversation with Brian Custer the other day about, you know, a possibility of teams that, if in fact it was to ever come true, cities and teams that he would want to play in Miami was mentioned at the top. It's the only reason why we're talking about Dame.
It came out like a shot when he said Miami, too. He's like, Miami, definitely. Easy.
Pat Riley needs to go get him. Pat Riley
I know. I just wanted to
secure the bag with Dame. Has to do it. Has. Like, capital H, capital A, capital S. Has to do it.
So, in other words,
he always has in the past.
Figure it out, huh, Jay?
Yes, Key.
Figure out how to.
Well, think about this. For as great of a series as Jokic has had, being the finals MVP, does he win it without Jamal Murray?
No.
Okay.
Probably not.
So, and I love Bam. Bam is good. But, like, Bam and Jamal Murray, we're talking about Jamal Murray being top 15 in the league. You talking about Bam being top 15 in the league? So if that can't happen without Jamal Murray for Jokic, who is being crowned right now as the best player in basketball, what the hell do you think Jimmy Butler needs?
Yeah, well, Pat Riley has always done this. I'll just remind everyone. When he took over the Heat because the Knicks wouldn't cut him in on a piece of the action after he'd taken them to the finals and everything was looking great. I was a kid. I'm like, oh, my God, I have Patrick Ewing and Pat Riley now, and we're going to win championships. But Knicks got stingy and didn't want to give Pat Riley the deal. So he went to Miami, and immediately what you saw, Jay, is, oh, wait, they got Tim Hardaway and Alonzo Mourning? That's a nice combination. And when that wasn't enough, suddenly it was like, oh, they draft Dwayne Wade. They put Shaq with Dwayne Wade? If Tim Hardaway and Alonzo Mourning don't get you over the top, I bet you Shaq and Dwayne Wade. And sure enough, they did. And then it was LeBron and D. Wade. Pat Riley will get his man. He'll get his man. You know,
Pat Riley realized that with the Shaq and D. Wade, he was like, I put this team together. I'm not about to let this go to waste. Let me come on down out the press box and coach this team to victory.
Exactly.
Right? He'll do what he has to do. He'll do what he has to do. And now, if we're looking at Jimmy Butler and thinking he needs something else, a guy like Dame, if it's there, I would trust that Pat Riley would make that happen. I would trust he would. That's been his history. So the Joker got his title and his finals MVP. And the question is now, the question
is
in
he
everyone's
born?
mind, immediately upon his winning this game, all across the country, all across the world, was where is he in Max Kellerman's top 20 players all time? That was the question. He finished with 28 points and 16 boards. First player in the history of the NBA to lead the playoffs in points, rebounds, and assists. Yeah, he's pretty good. So where is he in the top 20?
So let's just go over the resume real quick before you go into your list. We have current average 20.2 points per game, 10.5 rebounds, 6.6 assists in the regular season. For the Joker.
You mean for his career?
Yep, for a career.
But why would you do the career? I don't get it.
Why wouldn't I do the career?
because it doesn't capture, it averages in a guy's early years where he's still ascending.
Of course, yeah. All right, we're looking at body of work, right?
No, not necessarily. Not. I wouldn't say the mean of his points scored.
First off, why you're getting triggered? I'm not even countering your point.
I'm just pointing out. It's not a useful statistic.
I'm going to lay out for this one.
How is it not
you guys
useful?
Go ahead.
How is somebody's career? So in somebody's career, you say one NBA champion. Is that useful?
Jay, there's a difference between creating an average when someone's still on their way up as a means of capturing what they've done in their career versus taking a portion of their career where they hit their prime or something like that. It skews it in the wrong direction. For example, if you were to say...
I got a chance to put out one stat. You didn't even know how I was skewing it. You didn't even know which direction I was even going. You just became triggered with it.
Not triggered at all.
Jay, what I was going to say to you as a sitting here and observing this tit for tat back and forth, I was going to say, Max, why don't you let him finish so you can hear everything before you attack
jump me.
Just let him
your
finish.
Career scoring average.
Oh my goodness!
Seemed to me to be right.
No, wait, look though.
Let him take it away, Key.
Completely wrong, and you may be right, but you got to let him finish so we can get him.
Point taken. Point taken.
Yeah.
I mean, one NBA champion, one NBA Finals MVP, 2 regular season MVPs. Averaged 30, 14, and 10 in the postseason on 55, 46, and 80% from the field. Beat KD and Booker in 6. Beat LeBron and AD in 4. Beat playoff Jimmy in 5. Most playoff triple-doubles ever. Most assists ever by a center. First 30, 20, and 10 finals game and a finals MVP.
Now, I closed my eyes when you were saying
I want to set the table like that for you, but then you...
Well, no, but I think the scoring average for his career is like a...
I closed my eyes when you were saying that, just to hear you. Man, that's the best player in the world.
Yeah, he's the best
player in the game right now.
That's the best player in the game right now.
And he makes everyone around him better. So here's how I would put that in. And by the way, the highest PER for what that's worth all time in a single season belongs to Jokic. And this year he had another top 15 all-time PER season. The quality of his prime is outstanding. Okay. MJ, LeBron, Kareem, Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain. Those 5 guys at one point or another, there was wide-ranging consensus, or at least a large minority of the population, like large, that thought that's the best player ever. Magic, Kobe, Bird, Shaq, Steph, all had multiple, usually, MVPs and final MVPs, and at one point or another were considered the best player in the game. And oftentimes, many of those guys sustained that for a period of several years. I think Tim Duncan probably belongs in that category too. I have him at 11. Hakeem, Moses and KD, you can say the same thing about the guys I said before them. I would have them a tick below the other guys, but okay, that could be debated. But I think those 14 are cemented. And then the question is, who's 15? KG was maybe not ever the best player in the world, but close to it, and a great player who was the best player in a championship team. Oscar Robertson was the standard at point guard for years, really, before Magic Johnson. Jerry West was an all-time great. Same thing with Elgin Baylor, though he never won a title. Dr. J's best work took place in the ABA, but super great player. Dirk Nowitzki was the best player in the game, probably for a year. Isaiah Thomas, back-to-back titles. And among the great all-time point guards, Giannis has a similar resume to Joker, actually. And David Robinson won an MVP, won a finals. You know, he won two chips. Two chips. One last season.
99 and 2003.
Yep. So the question is, those are the candidates, along with Joker, in my mind, for that 15th slot. And I could tell you, just looking at it, I'm taking the Joker, given how much better he makes the people around him, given what he just did in these playoffs to win finals MVP, but really playoff MVP, given his back-to-back MVPs in the regular season that could have easily been 3 in a row, which almost no one's ever done. I'm taking him over Isaiah, Dirk.
Can't do it over Isaiah.
Isaiah Thomas was never considered the best player in basketball.
So he needs to be right underneath Giannis then, correct?
But that's the question. That's, to me,
because he can't. It's the same. If you're telling me 2 MVPs and a championship, let's just leave it there.
Yep.
Let's not get into the points and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Let's just leave it right there.
I totally agree. Those are the candidates for 15 to me. It's Giannis and Joker. Both have at one time or another been perceived as the best player in the game. Both have multiple regular season MVPs. Both have finals MVPs. Both put up stupid numbers in the regular season and had great postseasons, right?
Hey,
it comes down to Giannis or Joker for the 15th slot.
Let me ask you this, Jay. Who's a harder player to defend, though?
I don't even know how to answer that, because they both do things very differently. You know, like they're 2 different players. Like,
so let me rephrase the question.
Mm-hmm.
Who would you rather have on your team, and not recency bias? I'm just talking about from what you know as an ex-basketball player, Naismith winner, second pick of the Chicago Bulls, all that. From what you know, who would you rather have?
I mean, as a guard, my dream would have Nikola Jokic. I mean, I play very similarly to Jamal Murray, right? So having a guy that I can come off any pick and roll, I mean, I had one of the best weapons in all college basketball in Shane Battier, and that dude is way different than Shane Battier, and we dominated college basketball in a pick and roll perspective.
Do you like Jokic's shooting from the outside and playmaking, or Giannis's defense? That's what it really, in a comparison to those 2 players. Giannis is more of a rim protector and a better defender overall. Joker's obviously a better shooter from the outside and a better playmaker
I hate answering
with the
this
ball.
question for anybody that just says it's one or the other. Like, I would start to question your basketball acumen, right? Because how's my roster constructed?
Right.
Like, what pieces do I have around?
So, in other words, it's that close between Giannis and the Joker.
I think as it relates to their dominance and how they impact the game, yes.
Stop.
So if you had to pick one at 15.
I said I would pick
All right.
Joker.
So by the way, I just want to point out, guys, he won finals MVP, and my claim that he's in the 12 to 15 conversation, but certainly top 20, doesn't sound so ridiculous anymore, right? Like, he's right there. You might have him 21, you might have him 15, whatever, but he's floating in that range right now already. Not just centers, like any position. Where Jokic rates all time. Is he top 15? I think he is. Jay, I think push comes to shove, you would put him there. Certainly top 20. No one could put him out of the top 25 all time, but I would have him like 15. But a lot of this is trying to hit a moving target, right? You're trying to, it's not just what he's done, it's where you anticipate he's going still. Like, you don't think this is it, he'll never be good again. You think there's more to come, and so same thing with Giannis. If they stop now, you might look and go, let me reevaluate David Robinson against them or someone like that, right?
The Admiral was sick.
Yeah, he was sick. Mm-hmm. And really is not remembered for being as good as he was because he played with Hakeem and Shaq.
Yeah, but he also played in the era where it's not a lot of social media hype. He played for the Spurs.
Yeah. No, Admiral was no joke. Was no joke.
Yeah.
come on. But that's my point, Key. Like, it's not that Giannis and Jokic have already done more than him, although that's debatable, right, in terms of their status in the league. It's where we think they're still going. So the question really is, are the Nuggets headed for a dynasty? Or at least are they not done winning championships? Michael Malone, the Nuggets head coach, was asked this very question at the post-game press conference.
Pat Riley said something many years ago. I used to have it up on my board when I was a head coach in Sacramento, and it talked about the evolution in this game and how you go from a nobody to an upstart, and you go from an upstart to a winner, and a winner to a contender, and a contender to a champion. And the last step is after you're a champion is to be a dynasty. So we're not satisfied. We accomplished something this franchise has never done before, but we have a lot of young, talented players in that locker room. And I think we just showed through 16 playoff wins what we're capable of on the biggest stage in the world. And the best part about it is the people I just did that with.
I mean, I have to say is, shout out to DeAndre Jordan, who finally got a chip. Who would have thought that DeAndre Jordan would get one before Blake Griffin or CP3? Like, just go back to those Clipper days, right? It's like those are the type of stories that you see within the franchise. Or a guy like Christian Brown, who won 3 straight high school championships, came off last year winning a college championship with KU, and is now an NBA champion in his rookie year.
And made real contributions.
Real contributions.
Yeah.
Like, those are the kind of stories you have on the squad.
Are they headed to be a dynasty? Give me the ages of the years of Jokic and Murray and Porter, Jay. What are they?
Everybody's on contract for the next couple of years. The only person, Key, who I think is an unrestricted free agent, I need to look it up, is Bruce Brown. But everybody else is on contract for next year.
I'll give you the ages. I'll give you the ages. Here we are. I got him in front of me.
Player option. He has a player option. So.
I got him in front of me. Jokic is 28. Jamal Murray is 26. KCP is 30. Christian Brown is 22. Bruce Brown is 26. KCP, I mentioned that already. Aaron Gordon's 27. So their nucleus is in their mid to late 20s. All I
care about is the 3 to 4 guy. KCP, I'm talking about the
right.
young bucks.
Aaron Gordon is 27. So the two big ones, Jokic is 28, Jamal Murray's 26, Gordon is 27, Porter Jr. is 24.
And this is each, 6 years in the league for them mainly? 6, 7 years?
Like around, yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
So usually from without pulling out my phone and doing the research, when you usually win early like this in your career, you start to develop the dynasty type environment because you're not going anywhere, right? You, as a core, you're not going anywhere. It's usually teams like the Celtics when Larry Bird was young or Magic was young or when LeBron was in Miami, they were still young, or Kobe was young with Shaq. They were in that 6, 7 year type in their career. Then they start hitting. You look at Golden State. Steph Curry and them hit early, and then they just started, and they add a few other pieces around them. They become the core. So it's not without reason that the Nuggets could potentially, this could be a jump start to some sort of dynasty where you see them win 1 or 2 over the next 5 years.
See, that's where I am, Key. What you just said, when people say dynasty, if they're like, this is a three-peat, wait a minute. Jamal Murray just got healthy again for the playoffs, right? There were 2 years in between where he wasn't healthy. And Jokic won his first title at 28. Like, I look at the Spurs with Tim Duncan. They got 5 chips over, whatever it was, 18 years, but they won early with Tim Duncan and never went back-to-back. If what you're saying by dynasty is they have another chip or 2 in them over the next half dozen years, I could get with that. Yeah, I don't know if it's going to look like the Chicago Bulls, three-peating, but or the Warriors winning, 3 out of 4 or something. But I could see him winning another one, and maybe even another one.
As long as that nucleus, Jay, you know this, man. As long as that nucleus stay together, they gonna grow together.
They're gonna keep knocking on the door.
They're gonna be a hard out for quite some time.
My thing is, for the next 4 to 5 years, Denver is going to be knocking on the door of winning multiple championships. Now, whether they get through the door or not, that will be TBD. We'll see what moves Phoenix is able to make. If Phoenix is able to get James Harden, you're looking at Phoenix very differently. You're looking at Denver and that matchup very differently.
But even then, maybe Phoenix pops and gets one. But given KD's age, James Harden's age, right, versus these guys in their mid to late 20s, I think really with Porter Jr.'s back and the way he played throughout most of the playoffs, they'd like out of that deal, I would imagine. But Aaron Gordon is actually, to me, the third most important piece on that team right now. He's their defender who can lock up the best player on the other team. He's athletic. He's big. He's 27 years old. His offense maybe at this point is a touch underrated. Like, you have that guy to add to the big two cogs. Jokic, who makes everyone better and is an all-time great in his prime, and Jamal Murray, who is a playoff killer. It's a lot. And they both shoot. Jamal Murray can shoot it, and Jokic can shoot it. They can score it from the outside.
Stan Kroenke, they're going to have interesting issues, though, right? Like, you're paying Michael Porter on the max. You're paying Jamal Murray on the max. You're paying Jokic on the max. You're paying Aaron Gordon damn near close to max.
It's the Porter
deal. It's a lot of the pieces that end up fitting and whether you can retain. Look, it's a matter you can retain. You know how this stuff goes. Like, the longer teams play together, guys start to say, I want more, I want my own thing. Like, can you keep all those egos aligned?
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.